Vidyarthi with the top stories on this Easter Monday. At least 5 people were seriously injured this morning and several others slightly injured when 2 public service vehicles collided along the Mukuyu-Murang'a road. Witnesses say the 14-seater matatu belonging to the Mukanyeki Sacco, which was heading to Nairobi, was hit by another 14-seater owned by Murang'a Shuttle Services Limited after it lost control when its tyre burst. It took the arrival of a fire engine and several Good Samaritans to free several passengers who had been trapped inside the matatu. The injured were rushed to the Murang'a Level 5 hospital. The accident caused a heavy traffic snarl-up and motorists on the road have been urged to be cautious because of the rains.
Naonekana hii gari ya Supreme ikitoka pande ya Nairobi na ingine ikitoka Murang'a, naonekana kaa imepasuka mguu, ika lose control. Pa hiyo gari ya Kamunyeki watu wameumia sana. Ni vile impact wakaogeshwa viti na wengine chuma.
Elsewhere, a middle-aged man was killed by a hippo last night. Gabriel Mbugua becomes the 7th person to be killed by a marauding hippo, which has caused sleepless nights to residents of Gishiki village in Thika East sub-county. Now, according to the locals, Mbugua was heading home from Kilimambogo shopping centre at around 8 p.m, about 100 meters from his home, when he met the hippo, which they say was coming from Athi River to look for fodder. Residents who found Mbugwa's lifeless body in a thicket say he was allegedly attacked on the head and stomach. His mother laments that the only breadwinner in the family has been taken away, like 6 of her neighbours who have been killed by hippos. Mbugwa's body was taken to the General Cargo Funeral Home. Former councillor Peter Njuguna called on the government to take action.
Ili watu hapa tusiwe tunapata itabu ya kuhamahama kila wakati tunahama. Hiyo ingine watu wanasema habari ya mashamba. Scooters ndio walikuwa wanapewa mashamba kule na walipewa. Lakini watu wa hapa Gishiki mashamba yote yuko kwa mto. Kwa hivyo hakuna wakati watakuja wakae kwa amani, sababu hii maji inakujaga. Kila mwaka inakujaga na inabeba vitu, hata mali yetu inachukulia. Ya mwisho kusema kweli, ni vile wanyama wametusumbua. Hao tumesema akina chui, akina fisi wamekula buzi na kuna compensation inafanywa na serikali.
Right, politics now, and political leaders from Ukambani are meeting today in Matungulu to discuss the community's political landscape. They're also expected to make a declaration that may have an impact on the opposition coalition NASA. Now, the meeting is being chaired by the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and has a host of leaders from the lower eastern region, among them Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu and her Makueni counterpart Professor Kivutha Kibwana. All right, let's now cross over to Koma in Machakos County, where Enoch Sekolia has been following the developments. Enoch, what can you tell us at this point?
Well, Smriti, as you can see behind, the meeting is yet to start. We can see quite a number of people who are arrived here are having lunch, having lunch right now, but we expect that the meeting will kickstart anytime from soon, because as we speak, we have seen a host of legislators arrive here. We have also seen Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who arrived here like 30 minutes ago. Charity Ngilu also arrived, the Kitui governor, and as you said earlier, Hamakueni counterpart Professor Kivutha Kibwana is also here. So the meeting is expected to kickstart anytime soon after they finish having their lunch. Remember, today's meeting coming back on a backdrop of several political developments in the country, preceded by the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga. There have been push and like several shaky moments in the NASA coalition that is led by Raila Odinga. After that handshake, we have had several political parties in the NASA coalition who have already made clear their their way forward, who have already made clear their intention going forward. For example, the Amani National Congress that is led by Musalia Mudavadi and that of Ford Kenya that is led by Moses Wetangula, they have already declared that they are going to form a unified front, and that is a political party that they will use ahead of the 2022 elections. But now today is the time for the Wiper Party or the Ukambani leaders to state the way forward. It was rumored that the governor from Machakos County, Dr. Alfred Mutua, will arrive here, but all indications are clear that he will not be part of this meeting today. But as I told you, quite a number of legislators from the Ukambani community are already here, and it is expected that what they are going to declare or what they're going to discuss will have an impact on the country's political landscape going forward. Just remember, Kalonzo Musyoka was Raila Odinga's running mate in the last political contest, and the Wiper leaders and those from Ukambani have maintained that there was a memorandum between Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi that Raila Odinga only runs for presidency in 2017, and in 2022 Kalonzo Musyoka runs for the country's top job. So it is expected here that they will chart a way forward or discuss something concerning that, especially when it comes to the race for the country's top seat, and especially with the community here expecting to front a candidate in 2022. Remember, Kalonzo Musyoka has already made his intentions clear of becoming the country's fifth president. There is also Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua, who has also made his intentions of becoming the country's president. But as it is right now, we just have to wait and hear what they will declare, what they will say about the future of the community when it comes to matters politics. Smriti.
Right, Enoch, thanks very much indeed for that update. Of course, more from you in our subsequent bulletins. A man accused of cyberbullying and trying to extort money from members of parliament has finally been booked at the Muthaiga police station. According to the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, Wazir Boniface Chacha was arrested in Tarime, Tanzania, and he was planning to flee to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Chacha is accused of soliciting money from MPs disguised as Murang'a woman representative Sabina Chege. Well, last week, police appealed for help in arresting Chacha and offered a 20,000 shilling reward. Among those who have fallen victim and sent money to the suspect are the National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, who sent 300,000 shillings, former GEM MP Jakoyo Midiwo, who sent 20,000 shillings, Peter Munya of the EAC, Cabinet Secretaries Eugene Wamalwa, Margaret Kobia and also Cicely Kariuki. And the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, says that any case should not take more than 2 months to conclude. Kinoti says he has ordered his officers to be more productive and that he will not allow deliberate mishandling of cases.
Speaking in Karura in Kiambaa, the DCI said that within 2 months, any case forwarded to a CID officer should be investigated and the suspects arrested or taken to court, or else it will be the investigating officer who will be answerable to him.
Na nimesema sijui kama mlipokea my signal, ile nilisema hiyo file ama hiyo kesi mimi nataka niletewe nikiwa DCI. Na kwa nini nasema hivyo? Mimi nataka mheshimiwa utauliza watu hao tena, ni mimi nataka uniulize. Mwananchi hata pia wewe achana nao. Kuja, mimi ndio nitakujibu.
He says once a suspect has been identified, it should not take more than 6 weeks to arrest him.
Hatutakuwa tukipelekea Mandera ama Turkana shinda. Mbona kama ameshinda na watu kutumikia watu ya Karura Kiambaa, mbona tunapelekea watu Turkana?
He says he has already sent these guidelines to all officers in the chain and will be expecting results.
Hakuna mtu tutatransfer. Huyo mtu ataenda yuko pahali ingine ili ajifikirie yeye mwenyewe. Kweli kama unapata mshahara kila mwezi, umepatiwa kazi ile inaliliwa na watu wengi. Utaona hata wakati recruitment inakuja hivi karibuni, watu watakuwa wengi. Kwa hivyo mtusipembeleze, hata mimi nikishindwa na hii kazi niende. Wale wako wanaweza kufanya hii kazi ni wengi. Kwa hivyo hii hatutapembelezana, bali mwananchi atalia, ameria na huko sisi hatuoni.
When he appeared before the Security Committee of the National Assembly a fortnight ago, members of parliament had complained of delays in handling of cases, and even after suspects had been identified, further unnecessary delays in arresting them. Andrew Ochieng, NTV.
The Malindi Member of Parliament Aisha Jumwa wants the national government to speed up compensation for over 200 families whose land was earmarked for the expansion of the Malindi airport. Aisha says if the government was not ready to compensate the families, they should allow them to continue to develop their investments until the time comes for the expansion. The process of compensation has delayed for over 1 year now. And as per the agreement with the Kenya Airports Authority, those affected are not supposed to continue with any structural developments since the evaluation was already done. Residents are wondering why the National Lands Commission, the National Treasury and the Ministry of Transport and Communication were not clear on the compensation issue. Well, last year, the government allocated 300 million shillings for compensating the first group of families within Kwachocha South. Reports indicate that the first group of residents signed the awards and have since been compensated, while the second batch, which is protesting, has not signed the awards and is yet to be compensated.
Sasa imeenda 1 year down the line, watu hawajalipwa. Nyumba zinavuja, nyumba nyingine zimeanguka na nyumba nyingine ziko na cracks. Hakuna mtu anaweza kufanya chochote kwa sababu aliambiwa ukifanya any extra work pale basi hiyo gharama ni yako, si yetu.
Tusukumiwe hii pesa yetu tupate ili tuende sehemu zingine. Kwa sababu hata kuna wengine walienda kupata viwanja kule, lakini unapata kwamba umeelewana ule mtu, ukienda pale anasema sasa umekawia, nimeuza kile kiwanja kwa bei nyingine.
Maendeleo hayaji bila maridhiano. Maendeleo ya mvutano si maendeleo. Ikiwa KAA Malindi Airport walikusema ya kwamba wanataka kufanya expansion ya Malindi Airport na hakuna ardhi ambayo iko wazi kwa kazi hiyo, ardhi imekaliwa na wananchi miaka nenda miaka rudi, takriban miaka 30 na zaidi. Tumemsikia mama wa mtaa akitueleza. Haiwezi kuwa rahisi vile kwamba watakuja tu waje wavunjie wananchi bila kufanya maagano, na maagano yalifanywa. Mkazi wa Malindi ambaye yuko katika sehemu hiyo amesema sisi tumekubali maendeleo, tuko radhi na maendeleo, lakini tupeni chetu na sisi tuwaachie nafasi mulete maendeleo hata sisi yatatufaa ili nasi tukaweze kujiestablish mahali kwengine.
Elsewhere, 10 girls from the Green Garden Hills High School in Kiambu will be representing Kenya and East Africa in the world's first competition in robotics education to be held in Houston, Texas in the USA. That's from April 18th to the 21st. Now, the girls emerged winners in a hotly contested event of schools drawn from the East African region.
On the 17th March 2018, 19 national, private and international schools from East Africa participated in science, technology, engineering and math competition through making and manipulating of Lego robots at Brookhouse School. This year's theme was to stimulate children's competencies, talents and creativity in solving problems.
We had 3 stages in that competition. One, where we had to do the project, to explain a project that we came up with to solve a water solution, a large one here in Kenya. 2, we went for core values, where as a team, we explained each and every skill we learned from the project. And 3, we also participated in now the robot technical part, where each and every school comes with their own robot and they are programming, and you perform and solve all the challenges that you have been placed for on the board. All these challenges represent certain water problems that face the country.
10 girls from the Green Garden Girls High School in Kikuyu, Kiambu County emerged winners in a contest that had close to 20 schools from East Africa participating.
My girls have done well for the years in science subjects, whereby most of them have been admitted in universities where they are doing
where they are doing engineering.
The school will represent Kenya and East Africa in the world's first robotic education in science, technology, engineering, and math competition to be held in Houston, Texas, in the US later this month. The international competition brings together children aged 9 to 17, and it is developed by Lego Company. However, the 10 girls may fail to represent Kenya and East Africa in the competition, for they do not have enough funds to cater for their transport and accommodation during their stay in Texas. The girls are calling on the Ministry of Education and ICT to come through for them. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
And good luck to the girls. Now some news in. Efforts to put out a fire in one of the textile factories on Charles Rubia Road in Nairobi Central Business District is underway. Firefighters from the Nairobi County and other city inspectorate officials have been trying to put it out since last night. The school uniforms factory, known as Aviz Fashions, is located at the basement of a two-story building. The firefighters got to the scene on time and contained the fire on the ground floor, which houses a garage, and the upper floors, which house jewelry shops and other textile factories. But access to the basement has been the biggest challenge to the firefighters because grilled doors are blocking the way for the fighters. The cause of the fire has not yet been established, and the owner of the textile industry says that he has over 50 employees in the factory, but they were off duty today, being a holiday.
More an inferno because of the clothing materials and the storage of the material rolls that have been kept by the business person. And that is why the fire is spreading very fast, because it is also having no air. The basement is completely sealed. To access the basement, it has become very tough for us, but right now we have managed.
And have you established the cause of the fire?
The cause of the fire has not been established, but we are also thinking that the person who is having the business at the basement tampered with the building plans, but this one will be confirmed from our systems in City Hall tomorrow. So that at least we can be able to know what happened when this man came over on board in the building.
Now, calls for peace dominated the Hindu Sri Sri Jagannath Ratha Yatra in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, an event that was attended by Governor Jackson Mandago and KSS Member of Parliament Swarup Mishra. The two leaders urged Kenyans to put behind their political differences for the country to move forward. Mandago said that the variety of religions that Kenyans enjoy should be a uniting factor. He also encouraged investors to invest in the county. Mishra, a Kenyan of Hindu origin, thanked KSS residents for electing him despite not being born in Kenya.
We cannot clap in one hand. Clap is two hands. It is not only the government who can do for us. We are the government. Let us work hard. Let us lead a disciplined life, godly life. Then only we can achieve our objective. When you are through with the celebration, don't be in a hurry. We are a tourist destination. You will go to my neighboring county called Elgeyo Marakwet, which has a very beautiful valley called Kerio Valley. The best place for paragliding in the world is in Elgeyo Marakwet. So I think those visitors, and I want to urge my residents here in Eldoret, the citizens of this county, don't allow the visitors to leave Eldoret before touring around our county, isn't it? And the neighborhood.
Now, West Pokot County has been urged to exploit the hidden treasure in its culture and breathtaking scenery across its highland and lowland. Governor John Loyangapuyo led local and foreign tourists in a hiking event aimed at promoting local tourism.
Local and foreign tourists in West Pokot celebrated the Easter festivities in style. The tourists, led by Governor John Loyangapuyo and Kacheliba MP Mark Lumonokol, were warmly welcomed by traditional dancers. They were later flagged off outside the historic Kapenguria Museum, which housed the famous Kapenguria 6, before embarking on a hiking excursion of two popular hills in the area, Shaba Hill in Kacheliba, Pokot North, and Murpus in Pokot South. The marketing director of the Kenya Tourism Board, Jacinta Nzioka, along with her family and local professionals, were among the tourists who ascended the hills and got a spectacular view of Mount Elgon and Mount Moroto, situated in the neighboring Uganda. The Komolokon Hill, which borders West Pokot and Elgeyo Marakwet counties, 13,000 meters above sea level, was also a beauty to behold.
Leo, the first one, will come with the calendar for the whole year, which activity is taking place when and where. This county government, what we have done, we are building very brilliant cottages, not hotels, nice ones strategically placed. We are starting with 3. In the next 2 weeks, we will be launching the exercise, one in Pokot Central, one in Pokot North, one in Pokot South, and in the hills of Sok, that region. So that when you go to climb, you know where you can go and rest.
West Pokot County, which is being challenged to aggressively promote tourism, boasts of having the world's largest black elephants at the Nasalot Game Reserve. Seth Olale, NTV.
Some sports news now. And the national under-20 coach Stanley Okumbi has laid blame on his players after Rwanda scored an injury-time goal to secure a vital 1-1 draw in the first leg AFCON under-20 qualifier played in Machakos. Now this, says the Rwandan coach, provided an example for good people management.
The national under-20 football team had a bright start to the crucial AFCON qualifier, with Richard Odada on target on the 8th minute. But after holding off for 84 minutes, the Rising Stars defense was turned inside out by Beringiro Lageu, who scored a crucial equalizer. And coach Stanley Okumbi, fresh from being demoted from Harambee Stars to the junior team for poor performance, was taking none of the blame.
When your players don't rise to the occasion, especially your key players, player like Richie, Musa, Keegan, Eric, of course I was expecting that they will rise to occasion. Player like Alpha in the midfield, of course they have been playing well in the friendly matches, but today maybe I can say that we were unlucky. They did not rise to the occasion.
In contrast, Rwanda under-20 coach Vincent Mashami was full of praise for his youngsters, even as he talked down the favourite Stag.
So when we went to the dressing room, I told the boys, even though we're down 1-0 down, but we're still the better team. So imagine if we were leading, how would we be playing? So I tried to make them think positive. So we tried to keep calm. We were patient enough, and then we tried to play our football. I know the boys' performance is very wonderful. I'm happy with them, but it's only 90 minutes. We still have another 90 minutes of football. So yeah, nothing is gone yet. Yeah.
The return leg will be in 3 weeks' time in Kigali, with the aggregate winner facing Zambia in the second round for a slot in the under-20 African finals that will be hosted by Nigeria in 2019. Warote Kiru, NTV.
Kenyan representatives at the African Volleyball Championship in Cairo, Egypt, that's GSU, and Kenya Prisons have their work cut out in the quarter-finals as they face tough Egyptian competition. National champions GSU, who finished second in Group D, will tackle defending champions Al Ahly of Egypt, who topped Group A. Now this, as Kenya Prisons, who finished second in Group A, take on El Geish, who topped Group D. Both quarters will be played on Monday evening. Incidentally, El Geish were the only team that beat GSU, and Al Ahly were the only team to beat Prisons in the group stages. The other two quarters will feature an Egyptian derby and a Libyan derby. Menengai Cream homeboys have successfully defended the Great Rift 10-a-side title, beating Stanbic Mwamba RFC 28-0 in the cup final. Homeboys crossed over and converted 4 times, with Kulabu choking on the big stage. In the semis, Mwamba beat Cabras Sugar 17-12, while Homeboys outplayed Menengai Oilers 29-5. Kenya Harlequins finished 5th with 15-7 win over Cabras Sugar, while Impala Saracens beat Nundies 10-0 to take the Challenge Trophy. History was made at Stamford Bridge as Victor Wanyama's Tottenham Hotspur beat Chelsea 3-1 to register their first win at the Bridge in 27 years. In the day's other English Premier League match, Arsenal had to labour before beating Stoke City 3-0.
Found Moses again.